Welcome to the So You Missed Church podcast. We are happy to have you here with us today. Happy Monday to you. This is Clint Daly, and I'm hoping that if you did go to church, you enjoyed it, and that if you missed church this week, or maybe you just couldn't go, maybe you just didn't go, maybe you didn't even miss it that much, that we can still help you get your week started in a positive way. You know, I've been very blessed in my life. Both of my parents were relatively healthy growing up, and I have been a mostly healthy person for most of my life. Some typical aches and pains, but nothing serious. However, when I was in high school, I was sitting in class, and I began to feel a very strange sensation. It was kind of like some pain, it was kind of like some pressure, and I couldn't quite locate where the pain was coming from. And then I began sweating, and then I began to get this horrible, sharp pain in my back. And I was a senior in high school, and I was fully believing I'm dying. I don't know what this terrible pain is, but I've clearly, ruptured my spleen, or my gallbladder has exploded, or I'm having appendicitis or something. Well, I was taken to the hospital, and at the age of 17, I was diagnosed with a kidney stone. The affliction of a 70-year-old person, not a 17-year-old person. And I actually battled chronic kidney stones for a number of years until we seem to have made kind of a dietary adjustment that kind of seems like it's kept them at bay. However, there were many times that I would start to feel a kidney stone coming on, and I would start to feel violent pain, and we would wake up in the middle of the night, and we would rush to the hospital. And as we would arrive at the hospital, as we would get there, the pain would suddenly pass and go away. And as frustrating as it was to be woken up, I would have to wake up my wife. Many times we'd have to wake up my mother-in-law to come watch the kids or whatever. And then we'd get to the hospital and the pain would subside. And there was almost a feeling of euphoria for me, because I had gone from having one of the most intense pains that I have ever felt to absolutely nothing. And the absence of that pain left me insanely happy. Even though it was maybe 2 a.m. and I had just been running a fever and nauseous, and we had gone to the emergency room and woken everyone up, that pain would suddenly stop, and I would feel this weird rush of joy. I'd be happy, chipper, talking to my wife with this flood of dopamine in my brain, and she would be like, "You woke me up at 3 a.m. to drive me to the emergency room. I'm not feeling the same joy you're feeling." And that is one of the things about our health, isn't it? If you woke up today and you feel fine, there's nothing specifically bothering you, we don't really notice it, do we? But if you've had a cold, and say your nose is stuffed up for a day or two, and you can't really breathe, we actually start to think in terms of, what was it even like to breathe clearly? I don't even remember those days anymore. And it is easy to feel that. When we wake up and we're not in pain, and we can breathe, and we aren't sick, it's just a normal day. And so it is easy to appreciate our health when we are healthy, but it's much harder to appreciate it when we feel fine. And that is true for us in life in general. It is many times only through deprivation that we truly feel blessing. We don't always cherish people until we lose them. We don't always appreciate the food before we are hungry. We don't always appreciate our health before we have it taken away. Today, we go back to the book of Exodus, where the Israelites had been living in Egypt in slavery, and God delivers them from Egypt, and they cross the Red Sea, and He's leading them to the Promised Land. And in chapter 16, we read the people are not happy. In verse 2, it says, "In the desert, the whole community grumbled against Moses and Aaron. The Israelites said to them, 'If only we had died by the Lord's hand in Egypt. There we sat around pots of meat and ate all the food we wanted, but you have brought us out into this desert to starve this entire assembly to death.'" You know, the Israelites forgot what it was like to actually be miserable. They forgot what it was like to feel real, actual pain. They had gotten comfortable. And they were complaining about, just another day. Because they didn't remember what it was like to wake up and not be able to breathe. living in slavery. Hey, Thanksgiving is next week. A day that we set aside to be grateful for all that we have in our lives. And on that day, we may sit with family and friends and loved ones and think about being grateful for our lives and our food and our homes and our families and our communities and for that extra piece of pumpkin pie that we're going to eat because it is, after all, Thanksgiving. Why not, right? But how many days do we just wake up and it's just a Tuesday and we have to go to work or school? We grab our breakfast, we grab our coffee, we kiss our loved ones goodbye, we leave, and we don't give it another thought. We feel fine. Oh, maybe a little tired from staying up too late last night, but it's just another day. But if all those things were taken from us, can you imagine the joy you would feel to get them back? What if we didn't live in a country where we have the freedom to complain about our own government? What if we didn't have a home to live in or loved ones in our lives? What if we didn't feel fine? What if our help was taken suddenly? Like I said, next week is Thanksgiving. But we don't need to have a specific day to be thankful for what we wake up with every single day. Be grateful for just having another day today. Hey, remember, you can always contact the podcast at youmisschurch@gmail.com. Feel free to reach out to us because we do want to be a source of encouragement to you. You can follow us on Facebook or X at YouMissChurch, and you can subscribe to the podcast pretty much anywhere podcasts are hosted, or just go find us on YouTube. Hey, I wish you all a very happy Monday, and I hope you have a great week.